If Biden wins, you're going to have a stock market collapse, the likes of which you've never had.
Another record day on Wall Street.
The stock market higher than it's ever been.
The stock market, it's hitting new records.
Beating the record it set just yesterday.
Let's just talk for a moment about the stock market.
Okay.
Boom.
Well, the market is defined. All the experts.
That's right, your eyes do not deceive you. Joe Biden is running on the stock market performance of 2023. Today's video, I'm gonna make it very clear. This year is going to be the best chance to get rich that has ever existed, I believe, in the course of our lifetimes. Now, what happens after this year, I don't know. But what's clear is that 2024 will be the year of pumping the markets. We're gonna go through and show you how this has already been happening, something that we predicted since March of 2023, which is that the government is artificially supporting markets and that it will send our crypto bags to Valhalla. This, my friends, is the chance we've all been waiting for, and I'm gonna show you step by step what exactly it's gonna take to crush these markets, to get filthy, disgustingly, unsociably, unrelatably rich from these markets. So again, if you enjoy this, smash that like button, because I'm gonna show you exactly what's going on behind the curtain, as I have for the last 9 months. While everyone else was bearish, calling for Bitcoin to go to zero, we were here showing you exactly how to get ahead and stay ahead of these markets. Again, markets are probabilities. There's a percentage chance that things go up. I believe it's more likely, and I'll show you why. There's a percentage chance that things go down. This is where you step up as a grown adult and make your own decisions here that can affect your future.
Are you a big man? Pop!
I'm just sharing with you my opinions. If you dig it, smash that like button and subscribe with the bell notification on, because each video we've been putting out here has been crushing it. We're about to have our first video here hit 200,000 views. And so if you want to be one of the first to get videos like this, where unlike everyone else, I'm doing my deep research and finding coins like Bonk really early, so you can clock nearly a 7x in about a month's time or less, not to mention all of these disgusting gains that we've seen across the market. This channel has been bringing you the absolute best information first, with realistic outcomes, realistic expectations, and skills that you can use to navigate this market. Because if we're right about what I'm about to show you, this means we're at the base of one of the biggest crypto mountains we've ever climbed. And that means that you need to have strategies implemented now. That means getting prepared now will help you get ahead of millions and millions of people who are coming to crypto in 2024. Make no mistake, we are very early. So why am I so sure that this is actually going to happen? Well, beyond this particular ad, which literally aired just a few hours ago here, we can see that David Sachs here, one of the biggest VCs in Silicon Valley, he's saying the Fed is preparing a Biden bailout. It has revised down inflation projections for 2023 and 2024 and is signaling upcoming rate cuts. Remember, we did tell you about this, that all the Fed's tough talk was total fugazi, that they cannot afford to keep rates at the current levels because they need to refinance the debt, that they cannot afford all this spending, and that is exactly what is happening. But don't get it twisted, we were telling you this since March of 2023 when the Fed started bailing out the banks, Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate Bank, and more. It was very clear that the Fed was unwilling to let any of these banks go into an extreme territory, and that meant that we had seen the floor on liquidity, that they were ready to start bailing people out and the economy couldn't take any more downside. Now, many people said,
no, Elliot, this is not the case. They're just bailing out a couple of irresponsible banks. That's nothing to do with actually bailing out the economy.
But look what's happened since those dates. We've had an up-only bull market in cryptocurrency. Obviously, there's been some big dips. That's the nature of up-only bull markets. I told you guys in March, we were going from selling the rally to buying the dip. And each one of those dips would have been life-changing if y'all had bought them. Again, I did, and I did it, and I called it here on this channel. And I'm getting ready to do my best work going forward, but it's important and it's absolutely critical that you internalize the messages that I'm about to tell you today, because this is the biggest opportunity we've ever seen in the markets. And here's why. The Biden bailout will consist of rate cuts and money printing. This is simply the way that the economy functions. And we've already seen this actually take place because, as Arthur Hayes says, bad girl Yellen is hard at work pumping US dollar liquidity into financial markets. You can see the UST Liquidity Index has been up only here since about the middle of the year. You can see that it is skyrocketing here. that is an absolute breakout chart. And remember, Yellen and the Treasury are like this with Biden. They are appointed by Biden, okay? So they are absolutely doing what the administration currently wants, which is number go up. Make no mistake. This is part of the Biden re-election campaign, is to say that Bidenomics works. The president's economic plan works. And that markets love it because guess what? Presidents don't get reelected if the economy is in the absolute dumps. And that's usually measured by the stock market, where many people have their retirement savings. And effectively, it's used as a barometer of health for the economy. And so if you didn't believe it, that the government is actively pumping liquidity into the markets, this chart literally tells the entire story. So I don't want to hear from anyone that,
Oh, they're trying to fight inflation. No, they're trying to keep prices low.
they are not. They are pumping the markets artificially. And this is just the beginning because they need this to continue through the election, or else old Joe might find himself out of a job. But wait, there's more. We just got our first ETF commercial. You think they're shooting ETF commercials when there's not actually the almost guarantee that there will be an ETF? Check this out.
You know what's interesting these days? Bitcoin. Look for Bitwise, my friends.
Okay, obviously, most interesting man in the world, commercial parody with Bitcoin. I think that there's one thing that the director failed to look at here. I have no idea why the director didn't catch this, but look at her face when he says Bitcoin. She literally looks so cringed out and embarrassed. I don't know why this got through. Smash like and leave me a comment below and describe what you think her emotion is right now, because to me it looks like she's destroyed with embarrassment right now. Absolutely disgusted. I don't know how this got through to the final cut, but anyway. The point is we're getting ETF commercials, and this brings us to another bull factor here, which is of course that the ETF will cause the biggest asset managers in the world to start marketing against each other to earn clients for their ETFs. Whichever ETF comes to dominate this market will likely be valued at hundreds of billions, maybe trillions of dollars. And that means that this is one of the biggest battles for an asset class, for an ETF that we've ever seen. And that means, my friends, that we will see so much marketing of Bitcoin, this time not by cryptocurrency exchanges like FTX, but we'll actually see it from the most reputed asset managers in the world, like BlackRock, Fidelity, and more. But wait, there's more. There's actually 30 days left until we could get a decision from the courts rejecting the lawsuit against Coinbase, which would effectively be one of the biggest legal victories that this industry has ever seen. If Coinbase wins, according to Meta Lawman here, it would be a total rebuke of the SEC's regulation by enforcement campaign against crypto, while the Ripple case was enormously consequential. This one is for all the marbles. And this is coming as we get the announcement that a crypto super PAC has been formed, comprising of at least Kraken, Coinbase, and Ripple, the three companies that have been unfairly targeted by the SEC. And they've raised already $78 million to fund pro-crypto candidates, which is why this dude EllioTrades, who if you're not following on Twitter/X, you absolutely must be. And I would put that bell notification on, put that bell on for old Ellio. I said, understand this, in a world where the US is pumping markets so Joe can stay in office, crypto will be the best asset class in the world. It will make the most millionaires. It will provide newfound wealth to a generation desperately looking for wins. It will be popular, okay? Popularity is the name of the game. And in 2024, we will have the first ever crypto election. This year will change everything, and it is extremely, extremely bullish. Now, after I explain why this is all so bullish, I'm gonna explain how you can position so that you can get ahead of what's going to happen here. Because remember, I'm in the position where I am laughing all the way up, not crying all the way up, because I predicted the positioning of the markets back in early 23. I was able to understand the direction and accurately predict it and buy in while other people did not realize what was going on. And that's why I was able to do so well in the markets this year. And I hope I can explain a simple way that you can do the same for 2024. Again, this is all high risk stuff. Bitcoin could still drop back down to its 15K range or below, right? That would be between 60 and 70% drop from today's value. And that could happen way worse for the altcoins. So just know we have a percentage chance of taking off to the moon where altcoins could do 10 to 100x. That's 1,000 to 10,000% gains. But the downside is 70% to 100%. You could lose it all, right? And so you need to understand those risks and make the decision that you're ready to take on those risks as a grown adult doing your thing. 'Cause it's not me trading. Again, I have to keep saying that on these videos because there's so many new people coming into crypto that think, oh, it's easy, guaranteed money. It's not. It's hard earned, it's difficult money, but it comes fast when it comes. So let's talk about why 2024 should be the parabola that we are looking for after all of this slow grind up. Now here we actually have Coinbase's 83-page 2024 market outlook. And I'm going to draw your attention here to one of these slides where they say an economic recession in the US is unlikely, but still has a percentage chance. Again, I'm not worried about this because usually this leads to a massive amount of money printing, which they are setting themselves up for tremendously right now. In fact, the markets are going to be extremely accommodating of this. And when moon, probably Q2 onwards. This is the biggest thing. When moon means when are we actually going to go up? And usually that happens after the halving. So just understand everything until the halving might be pre-season. But again, this cycle is different because of the ETF, because of the changes that are bringing crypto into becoming a far more legitimate asset class at a time where the US is looking to actively pump the ever-loving crap out of markets. This might mean that we actually see more upside earlier in the year. Again, I don't know, which is why I'm actively positioning and prepared to hold all the way through 2024 because I know that the magic is coming, although predicting it to a very specific time frame is quite difficult. So I'm just getting ahead, preparing and waiting. And it's a beautiful thing when you're well prepared and you can just watch the markets print you money instead of chasing them once you start seeing the activity take off. Now I need to talk to you about something very serious before we move forward, which is cybersecurity. There is an increase in hacks, scams, phishing links, all of the above happening right now in crypto. In fact, below almost all of my tweets, you'll see an astronomical amount of scammers and spammers trying to get you to click on links promising free airdrops and all of the above. So just know 2024 will not only be one of the most bullish times in crypto, but one of the most dangerous times for you as a crypto user. You are being targeted like you cannot imagine. And one of the easy ways that you can actually protect yourself against attackers is to use a VPN. Now, it might sound simple and most of you probably have this product, but if you do not, then listen closely. NordVPN is inarguably one of the cheapest and easiest ways to secure yourself against your identity and your IP address being leaked out to potential hackers and scammers that could seek to target you. Again, crypto is decentralized, but the websites of crypto, the DEXs, the exchanges, the different services that we visit, they all are logging your IP address. So for just $3 a month, you can actually mask that IP address with the best-in-class NordVPN. Again, you want to prevent your data leakage at all costs. And like I've said many times before, you can be forgiven for many mistakes in crypto, but not using a VPN is certainly not one that you will be forgiven for because it is so easy to get safer with just a few clicks and just a few dollars per month. Again, if you use the link in the description here, you can get a big fat juicy discount on NordVPN. And again, if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally no risk here, but you only have something to gain. I highly suggest you check out NordVPN, and a big thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the strategies that you can use to make more money in crypto. So where are we? Because today has been a sell-off. Bitcoin is definitely weaker than it has been over the last few days. Cold-Blooded Schiller has a great post. He says, I'll use Sol as the example, but there are plenty of others. We're in a position now where there are some high time frames that are producing divergences. Don't worry about what this means effectively. What he's saying is that we'll probably see stuff go down a bit. These divergences are relatively unusual as they don't occur in the extremes, instead lower down, meaning these divergences don't mark the top of the cycle, but the middle of the cycle, right? Typically they're invalidated, but under the current price action, they look as though they're actually confirming. These are just indications that there's a strong chance we'll get cheaper prices to buy at. Not that it's the macro cycle top. The trend's still up. We still want to buy. We don't really care about the short side as much as we are getting signs that we may be fortunate to get some cheaper coins across the market. And this, my friends, is the mentality I've been trying to impress upon you since March of this year, which is that a bull market is for buying the dip. When the trend is generally up, you want to buy the most disgusting red washout because effectively, as things go up, you can just be happy and you got in at what hopefully is the lowest price you'll see for a while. And that way, as things go up and then crash, they don't crash anywhere close to where your buys were. The lower you can buy, the less stressful your life is. Let me say that again. The lower you can buy, the less stressful your life is. When you buy bullish breakouts and you buy big green candles, it's very, very stressful because price tends to come and revisit those levels. It tends to come and flirt with the price that you bought at, if not go below. Whereas if you buy big, red, scary days, typically, if you do it in a bull market, you won't see price come and scare you around those levels. levels as much, but that means you buy when it's uncomfortable, not when it's super comfortable. And if you can get into that habit, you'll have a much less stressful time. I've not woken up in the middle of the night stressed out about crypto during this run once, whereas in 2021, I was permanently freaking out. I was not sleeping well, and that's because my bags are so well packed, so much lower in the market that I just legitimately, honestly, I don't care what the short-term price action is. I'm here for the cycle, and my buy-ins were so much lower that I don't have any stress right now. And that, my friends, is the way to enjoy the market. So now you understand why this is the most bullish year of all time. In my opinion, 2024 will see the most liquidity injected into markets, the highest prices we've ever seen for cryptocurrencies, and most likely for stocks as well. Remember, NASDAQ just hit an all-time high. The NASDAQ, the mainstream stock market that everyone was saying was going to zero, well, it's not. And remember, crypto is a pretty good corollary to the NASDAQ, so it should stand to reason that crypto has some good times ahead. So let's talk about the strategy here on how I plan to make wild, disgusting, historic, once-in-a-lifetime gains from this inflection point where we're getting an ETF, election year, and systematic rate cuts, effectively one of the most bullish setups for crypto that we've ever seen while it transitions into an asset class that's backed by TradFi, by Wall Street. This, my friends, should mark a split in time. There's before and after. That is what we're looking at, and that's why this year will be unlike any other. Again, people laughed at me relentlessly. They mocked me in the comments relentlessly throughout 2023 for saying I was buying gaming coins, and they told me I was a fool. In fact, some of the biggest accounts on YouTube, I'm not going to name them, made relentless content calling out altcoins, saying that they were stupid. And what I felt like was me standing here alone saying, yes, you're all wrong. But I also didn't understand because I felt like nobody remembered in 2019 when everyone who bought altcoins looked like a genius in 2020 and 2021. But during that time, they were being called extremely dumb, foolish, naive, all the things that I was called in 2023. So let's get back to the subject at hand. The thesis is so simple, and I'm actually not going to read this tweet exactly because it's not really about gaming and AI. It's about what I'm going to tell you right now. You see, I did this video with a ton of coins, all these targets, my calls, whatever you want to say. But really what we want to look at is this. You want to look at effectively this 4-step plan. Analyze, predict, prepare, and ape like a G. Now, of course, the 4th step is up to you how you want to do it. You could ape like a G, you could ape like a G for grandma, whatever you want to do. I don't really care. The point is, I'm doing this because I believe the cycle is going to happen. Again, I might not be in the same financial position as you. I'm in my 30s. I have a ton of cash on the side, and I'm willing to take higher risk bets to see them pay off. Maybe you're in a different category. Maybe you're in retirement. Maybe you can't afford to lose money. Maybe you're working paycheck to paycheck. I don't know what your situation is. This is how I'm approaching the markets. Again, if you enjoy it, smash that like button and subscribe. 1, analyze. This is the question you should be asking yourself. Over the last 90 days, we've seen massive amounts of coins pump, right? We've seen astronomical pumps in the market. Just going to the crypto bubbles here, look at the month, look at the year, see what the biggest bubbles are here. Look at the top 200, right? See what the biggest bubbles are here and try to understand. What are the things that have pumped the hardest? Look at the top 300. Try to understand what are the things that are pumping the hardest? What bubbles are jumping out at you? Understand what pumped, what has attention, because whatever pumped has attention. And understand why things pumped and got attention. Crypto is not necessarily just about technology, though the technology is utterly critical for understanding why this is so important. After you understand that the technology is very, very sick and very, very important, you must understand why certain technologies and certain projects get more attention than others. Now, what you want to do in order to trade successfully is to prepare yourself by buying things that you believe will continue to get more attention and attract more users to the technology. You want to predict where the attention is going to go. You want to predict where the liquidity, where the money is going to flow. And to do that, it's important to understand what has already happened. These are clues as to what could happen in the future because strength begets strength in a crypto bull market. Remember, what pumped, what has attention, and why they got attention are very important questions to ask. Then we want to ask what might happen next. Who is talking about it? What makes sense to you? You see, one of the most important things you can do is have a thesis in this market. My thesis is that crypto gaming is going to take over mainstream gaming because crypto is a natural fit with modern mainstream gaming. It's just the most logical thing ever to me, and you cannot convince me otherwise. My other thesis is that AI will continue to be the most important and transformative technology besides crypto in the world. And those two niches, those two categories will continue to captivate and enthrall the masses. And that, my friends, is a way that I can front run attention and liquidity. Because if I know that dozens and dozens of AAA games are about to hit the market and spend massive marketing budgets to attract players to Web3 gaming, then I know that there's most likely going to be a flood of new users, new attention, and new excitement around Web3 gaming. And so what do I want to do? I want to front run it. I want to get ahead of it. I want to position ahead of that liquidity. So look at what's pumped, look at why it's pumped, and try to understand and build your own thesis around what's going to attract attention. Remember last cycle, Dogecoin and SHIB were making teenagers on TikTok bazillionaires, and that was what everyone was talking about. I bought this dog coin and went to the moon. Just so happens there is at least one other dog coin currently printing absolutely disgusting levels of gains. I think Bonk is up 210x, and I'm not saying it's going to keep going. In fact, I have no position on Bonk. I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying building a thesis that you understand where the attention is going to come from and you can front run that attention. That is what's going to help you. Now, in my opinion, gaming, AI, and meme coins, and of course, smart contract, layer one platforms have been the holy group of gainers, right? Those have been the ones printing the most absolutely ridiculous gains of the cycle. That's just the facts. So that's where I'm formulating my opinion. Again, meme coins tend to be more like gambling. So just understand that that's more casino vibes, and you should not be investing with high conviction in meme coins, in my personal opinion. And the reason why I told you I had a position in Bonk here is because I saw so much signal and so many people so bullish on Bonk, and it was the leading meme for Solana. Again, you guys know I'm bullish on Solana. I thought more and more people were coming to Solana. The leading meme coin on Solana made a lot more sense as to why people might jump into it, because people have heard that getting rich off meme coins is the easiest way. I also know that gaming is going to have a massive cycle. So I think gaming coins will continue to be the subject of discussion, attention, and more buyers. I also think the same is true for AI. And of course, it's always been the case for layer one smart contract chains. So now that I know what pumped, what has attention, right? Now that I know what might happen next, who's talking about it, I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice. I'm bridging coins if needed, right? I'm writing down all the coins I think that I want to buy, because right now we're in a dip. Maybe the dip gets worse. Remember, Coinbase predicted Q2 was up only mode, okay? That might be the case. Maybe it comes earlier. I don't know, but I'm making a list and I'm preparing to buy into coins if it reaches price targets. Remember, I was buying a lot lower, so I don't have that much FOMO to buy up here in the 40s. If things are going to reset a little more, I'll buy more when they get really bloody, okay? That's my personal outlook. In fact, I might wire in more USD from my treasuries if things get really, really bloody here into the 30s, the low 30s, but they look like they're holding in the low 30s. That's my personal general outlook, right? I'll set price targets, I'll join groups, I'll set notifications. I just want to be on the front lines of everything, understanding where things are going and getting ready to buy. And that is how I prepare. And finally, I ape like a grandpa, like a grandpa. I ape like a grandpa, like a G, all right? Buy, and hold. On step 5, I want to set some sell targets or stay poor forever. Now, Becker just had a great video on selling. I'll do a video on selling here soon, but effectively selling is the only way that you actually make money in the markets. And I get asked about this a lot, but effectively the simple version, the really quick version here is you want to write down prices after you buy an asset that you would want to sell at. And this is because of something called moving the goalpost. You don't want to be caught moving the goalpost repeatedly, meaning once you have an amount of money or an amount of success that you're actually really happy with, but the emotion of the market has carried you to a place where it just looks like everything's rushing, going up. And all of a sudden you start thinking, well, instead of just paying off my debt, which would have made me happy, I actually want to buy a house or a car. Instead of just buying a house or a car, I actually want to buy a house and a beach house. Instead of just buying a beach house, I want to be a bazillionaire, right? You can start moving the goalposts, and that's called greed. So that is usually the downfall of most people, and why most people round trip their gains is because once they're actually feeling very, very rich and happy, they get greedy and they start thinking, well, what if this 2x or 5x from here? I could be crazy rich. And that, my friends, is how you end up losing money in the long term, is you end up starting to move the goalpost. So the way to fight against this is to write down your sell targets for any asset you buy before you buy it. And that, my friends, is what separates the people who make money and keep it from the other people who mostly round trip it, which is actually the vast majority of people. Like 90% of people don't actually keep the money that they make. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to cut this one off here. We'll have another full video on selling. If you're excited for that one, smash the like button and comment below. As always, we're going to have a video popping up here which shows you my 2024 altcoin picks. I highly suggest you watch it and understand the logic behind those picks so you can also apply it to other coins. Again, there's going to be a lot of successful coins here. This is not an exhaustive list. And in fact, you'll probably have even more success if you find coins that I have not covered here, but adhere to some of the same logic. That is the way that you get ahead and build your own success in the industry instead of following a YouTuber. Inevitably, in these videos, there's hundreds of thousands of people watching them. So you should put the bell notification on so that you see these first. You can get ahead of hundreds of thousands of people watching these, but also understand that you cannot be early if you're in a pack of hundreds of thousands of people. You want to take the lessons and the ideas here and apply them to hopefully different successful projects. Again, I don't want to be your exhaustive resource. I want to set you up for success. The mental models that I use that can easily be reapplied to other coins in the ecosystem. I sincerely hope these videos help you. Make sure to check out this video popping up here, like, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.